evening, everyone. So this is my submission for the time management project, which where we are required to produce a Gantt chart out of MS Excel. All right. So the data that we have here is for the multimedia agency website development implementation. So we have the following task, the requirements under column B, and the start the start date the requirements, the start date will be populated based on the requirements that's been given. So for task number one, we have analyze and plan. So it says here that we cannot start anything else until it's done. So we need to complete the 10 days, assuming that the work day is Monday to Friday and no holidays during the duration of the project. So days needed is 10 days, including the start date. So days needed column is 9. So for the next task, create and organize content, it says here that we cannot start anything else. So we need to complete the 10 days. That's why we've added here September 15, because we need to complete the 2 weeks. And its days needed is 4 weeks, so it's 19 days. 19 days plus the start date. So that's 20 days, 20 working days. All right. So um, task number 3, develop the look and feel. So the requirement is you can start the develop look and feel before the create and organize content is done. So that's why I've added September 29 here, because it's the start of the third week um, of create and organize content. That's why I added here September 29. So for that, we also need 4 weeks. So that's 19 days plus the start date. For the next task, the requirement is you can start working on graphics in HTML at the same time. So that's why the timeline, the start date is September 29 as well. So the requirement for that is 2 weeks, so 10 working days. So for the next task, the requirement is create working prototype after the first week. So the start date for the produced graphics is 29. It says here 29. So the next task should be started after the first week. So we've added here October 6. So the days needed for that as well is 2 weeks, so that's 10 days. So the next task is test. The requirement for that is give to the test team once complete. So we need to complete the 10 working days first before we start testing. That's why I've added here the start date of October 20. So for that one, we need 4 weeks as well. So that's 20 days. And for the last task, we have upload to web browser. So we need to complete first the testing, which is the 20 working days before we start uploading to the web browser. So that's November 17. We need 1 week for that. So I've added here 4 days. Okay. So the next step is for us to populate column E and column F. So to ensure that we're just counting the work days, excluding holidays and weekends, we type workday, the start date, and then the days needed. All right. So the completion of the web browser is supposedly November 21. All right. So the next step is for us to complete the adjusted length. The adjusted length is needed for to identify the data that can be used for the bar chart later on, that we're gonna use for our Gantt chart. So to compute for the adjusted length, we just need the completion date minus the start date. So there you go. All right. One more step before we create the Gantt chart is to change this first to a general. All right. Um, Next is to choose the task, to select the task, and then the start date, and then the adjusted length. Next one is to insert the bar chart. We're going to use the stack bar for this, the Gantt chart. So click stack bar, click OK. All right, so this is the data that the Gantt chart that will be working on. So the first one is to remove first the first axis. Right click. Oops, sorry about that. Format. Click no outline. Format data. No fill. Okay. You may have noticed that this one's inverted, so we need to format axis in reverse order. And then let's change this to dates. Let's update the table to date. You may have noticed that to delete this blank space here, we need to update the axis. Let's put the start date of September 1, 25, and the end date of November 21, 2025. Let's change this to 7 so that the axis here will start at the start of the week. So that's okay. You noticed here the dates are a bit cramped, so you just change the orientation of the dates. We don't need this here. And then to change the chart title, we want our Gantt chart to be interactive. So whatever changes you make to this title as well as to the table, it will automatically reflect to this Gantt chart. So you can do whatever format you want um, to this Gantt chart, but basically that's it. So it's the analyze and plan starts on September 1, and then create and organize content starts on September 15. Midweek of the create and organize, I mean, uh, yeah, mid-month of the create and organize, you start developing the look and feel. Um, the produce graphics and HTML documents start as well at this time, September 29. And then on October 6, you start to create a working prototype. And then testing starts for 4 weeks and then upload to the browser. So that's the Gantt chart for this time management, the Gantt chart for this website development timeline for multimedia agency.